Hi guys. So I decided to do my observation at my job. I work at a very high volume Starbucks, so I thought that that would be the best place to watch a really good interaction. Especially, it's good for me just to see how my baristas interact with each other and with customers. I noticed a lot of things that were really interesting that I probably would not have noticed before this chapter. Um, so one of the main things that I actually noticed was in the chapter they talked about kind of social circles and how you have basically like a bubble and your bubble relates to intimate space, personal space, social, basically just public space. So at Starbucks, we don't really have a great sense of, of space, just because we all work within such a tightly compacted area that everybody is kind of within your intimate to personal space. And as a result, my team is actually, I would dare to say, a lot closer than a lot of offices. And I think part of that is why, because you have to have a really intimate understanding and be really comfortable with people standing very close to you. Another thing that I noticed, which I hadn't noticed before, so this was pretty interesting too. As far as non-verbal cues go, this is within the body movement portion of the chapter. There's a lot of um, emblems that we use. So we use a lot of it's it's like nonverbal jargon to a certain extent. So it's stuff that we all recognize as being that we need something. So if you point to your ear, you know that your headset is still on or that you're not talking, depending on the situation. Also, if raise your finger, point at earn, and then down, it means that you need to brew more coffee. There's a lot of stuff that we recognize as signals to communicate faster that customers may not see or even understand on the outside. So it's really interesting to me how we kind of develop our own language and patterns. We have our own language using nonverbal cues, which I find really interesting. And that is it for the first one. For prompt number 2, it's describe your personal workspace, I believe. This is in the way of the prompt, so please excuse if I don't cover everything within the prompts. So my personal space, actually, so I don't have lockdown on my computer. So I have to use my roommate's computer in order to use lockdown. So I've actually been doing a lot of my studying in her room. So she has a desk and everything is very organized and set up and perfect. But in my little world, when I have to actually do my reading and studying, I'm generally on the couch with my little laptop. And I usually spend a few hours there because that is where I'm the most comfortable. So I almost look at her room as being like a test space. It helps me study and it helps me focus. And then when I'm doing actually my reading, where I can spend a little bit more time relaxing, I like to do that on the couch because it helps me retain more information. If I were to change anything about it, I would probably have my study space be as structured as my testing space because I feel like it's pretty important to have those two kind of be synonymous with each other. All right, thank you.